Rangers 2, Motherwell 1. Big Stevie Cool here to talk about that game. I mean, if you want a tale of two halves, then you're going to get it. It was that game, absolutely. I mean, as for the starting 11, here, if you checked out the Fog Football starting 11 reaction, then you know I wasn't very happy. Clement picking the exact same players. You know, not every player is at fault, not every player, is I mean, you are a team at the end of the day, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend that every. I mean, you could have just chose a brand new 18, even though some people wouldn't complain. But man, I'm talking about Dessers. I'm talking about Tavernier starting. I mean, there's no youth anywhere near the team. Like, where's Lovelace, etc., etc. There's just nothing from that point of view. It's just, it was so. I mean, it's one of those ones where it's like, just pick a team that everyone can get happy about, man. And every fan is pretty much in agreement that this guy is done. And you know what? Us winning today doesn't change my opinion on Philip Clement. And if it changes your opinion, then how naive must you be? But we're going to talk about this match. We're going to get into it. We're going to break it down and see how things end up for Rangers. But we do begin the game. Dessers has a chance. Drags it wide. That pretty much sums Cyril Dessers up, to be perfectly honest. Tav, right. Probably the worst game I've ever seen James Tavernier play today. Until he gets subbed off around the 67th minute. This guy is done. Right? The goals and assists have dried up, and his ability to even pass the ball like 3 yards has dried up. I mean, I just do not understand why we need to come on. See Philip Clement, right? I think he's done. I want him gone, etc., etc. But you know what? See if he actually dropped the players that no one in the fan base wants to start or wear a Rangers shirt, I think he'd win a lot more people over pretty quickly. But he's not doing that. Tav was awful. Jefty blazed a chance over. We'll get to Jefty in a minute. Cyril Dessers picked up a knock, went off, then got brought back on to an absolute chorus of boos. If you want to see how unhappy the Rangers fan base is, all you had to do was look at the stands at Hampden. Not very full this day. And I tell you what, Jefty's pants were full because the ball gets whipped in. Andy Halliday makes it 1-0. We all know what Jefty's going for here. He's trying to read the flight of the ball for Sedan. Motherwell wish they had Sedan playing for them. Sidon. He whips it in. He thinks Halliday ain't getting to it, so he's trying to predict where the ball's going to go so he can run onto it and set up a counter-attack or something like that. Halliday predicts it a lot more correctly than Jefty and puts it into the back of the net. This is some of the worst defending you'll ever see. Also, James Tavernier's inability to close down Sedon for the cross, for the cross also cost us. But I mean, this is Jefty's. What is he doing? This is unforgivable. This is the sort of, a defending / pressing you would do if you're like an attacker, like where the defender's got the ball and you've tried to over predict it and tried to make something good out of it. This just fell flat on its arse. It's this is probably the worst piece of defending you'll see all season. Tom Lawrence continues our Route 1 football where a launch forward to Cyril Dessers. Gets injured here, hamstring, leg. I don't even know. I was going to say leg. I mean, obviously there's a lot of muscles in your leg. He's done something here. I'm going to guess hamstring. He gets took off for Diamonde. And that takes us to half-time, and I'm going to say quite comfortably that was the worst half of football that Rangers Football Club have played this season. And when you consider how many bad halves of football Rangers have played, then I just don't know what to tell you. And guess what? We came out better in the second half. I'm sick of saying, we came out better in the second half. See, when you have your worst half of football that you've played this season, and some would argue for years, how can you come out worse in the second half? What does... I mean, they're clearly not playing for him, right? They're clearly not. It's absolutely horrific to watch. The football is absolutely rotten to the core. It's putrid. Now, Connor Barron finds Dessers, and it's a good finish for Dessers. Finally, Dessers, I believe it's his first goal in 9 games. Still needs to be dropped. Do not get it twisted. This guy belongs nowhere near Rangers. But I tell you what, I think Motherwell bottled this. They went 1-0 up at half-time. They should have been, filled to the brim with confidence. And Rangers, we just grew into the game. They made a few changes. We saw Robinson, Tavares and Sparrow come on. But for me, the real change happened in the 67th minute. We saw Danilo and Dujon Sterling come on for Dessers and Tavernier, the exact two that we do not want to see play for this football club again. And that is what happened. And I thought from this moment on, we were good. And for me, I think this has got to be the team that starts going forward. Danilo and Sterling in, and also Diamonde in for Lawrence. Lawrence is absolutely done. Casemiro come on for Balogun. Balogun looked like an injury, looked like he'd ran his race. You know, he's playing a lot of games recently. Proper, throwing a wee hissy fit in the stands. Well, guess what, mate? You're proper shite. He's no good enough. That's just a waste of a couple of million, man. You know, there's no, oh, well, yeah, he's not been good enough, but he's only 22. You know, he's got like 10, 12, 15 years ahead of him if he plays his cards right. This guy needs to go behind the shed like old Yeller and put a bullet. The proper was done when he arrived, and he's not going to get any better. Tierney, though, who I thought had a bright game, finds Bajrami. Initial touch is pretty poor, but he manages to put it into the back of the net, deflects over Oxborough, and we are laughing. It is 2-1. After this, Motherwell never really threatened. Honestly, I thought Motherwell were just Motherwell were awful in that second half, man. Created nothing. We see it through, right? But I'm not going to sit here and clap like a seal. I'm not going to sit here and pretend this is great. Am I happy my team's through to the final? Yes. Have we got a hope in hell of doing anything in said final? No, I see nothing. Well, compare the games, man. Who watched the game yesterday? Who watched the highlights? Even if you're reading the score, Celtic put Aberdeen, who are better than us right now, to the sword 6-0. Right? Oh, they lie down. Well, you tell you what, we lie down to Celtic as well. How about those apples? People can cry and grate about Aberdeen lie down to Celtic. Well, so do we. When was the last time we beat them, folks? I mean, if we're going to go by the same logic that Aberdeen lie down to Celtic, so do we. And why are we lying down to Celtic? Is it because we're cards? Is it because our team's pathetic? And that's exactly what it is. The team is pathetic. But he needs to start going forward with a team that finished this game. We cannot afford. Seeing football, it was the same under Beale initially in his good run. You cannot afford to be like trailing at the break every game. Because, yeah, when you've got the quality against like Motherwell and Ross County, you know, at home, things like that, you can bring it back in the second half. But you have to be mentally strong to do that. And this team is not mentally strong. We've won 2-1. It sets up an Old Firm final that right now we've got no chance of winning. How can Clement... The best case we've got to win that as he goes. And Clement, nah. He's got no chance. We've got no chance in that game. We do not, man. This team is going to let us down. We're going to get scored at about 4-5-0. That's the reality. You can say I'm being negative. That's the truth. This team's shite. Because what'll happen is we'll put the exact same first half performance in against Celtic that we did today. And you know what the difference is, folks? Motherwell ain't Celtic. It won't be 1-0 at the break. It'll be 3/4. And we'll be out. But anyway, Olympiacos on Thursday. Hearts at the weekend. He simply had to win this game. He won it. Still not good enough though. It's piss poor. It's piss poor of the highest degree. Anyway, till next time. Peace.